Hey guys, I made something that reminds me of you, and this is it. Look, it's little flowers, preserved and stunning for eternity, just like you. My flower child, just like you. But actually, Caleb picked me these flowers, and I dried them in a book, and I put them in this little glass case, and now it's just sitting right here. Welcome back to the channel. You guys have really seemed to like the Reddit Saturdays, so we're just gonna continue to do that until you guys don't want me to do that anymore. I do this on my second channel too. Go to KallMeKris 2 if you want to see more of this. But yeah, let me know what else you guys want to see on Saturdays down below. But today we're reading Reddit, so let's do it. My sister thinks I'm not considering her feelings while proposing. Are you proposing to your sister? I'm confused. So I, 26 female, am planning to propose to my boyfriend, 27 male. Oh wow, okay, yeah, okay, that would have been crazy. Two sisters getting married and they're lesbians. I know there's a book out there somewhere with that shit. Anyway, we've been dating for 4 years now, and he's the most important person in my life. We've discussed marriage. He has been very eager to propose and has been saving money for some time, I think. He's an artist and doesn't make quite as much, but he's way too proud to let me pitch in. Well, around last month, his mom had a surgery. I won't go into details, but it costed his parents quite a lot. She doesn't have insurance. I don't know why. He transferred them money from his own savings as well, but didn't tell me that. I even offered to help. Oh, what a I hope she's okay, the mom, and that's very sweet of him. That day, I found him crying in our room. God, I'll keep reading. He told me all this and kept on apologizing that the money he was saving for the ring had to go into helping his mom, and now he can't propose on our anniversary as he was planning to. It was so heartbreaking for me to see him like this, to be honest. I don't give a damn about that ring. I want to marry this guy, and I'd have done that in a courthouse if he'd agree. I told him all that, but for him, things like these are important. I actually kind of yelled at him as well for worrying about the wrong reason. Lol. Literally the sweetest man in the world. Just marry me, you stupid, loving bastard! He told me to give him some time as he wants to get me the best he can. Well, I've decided to propose on our anniversary. Okay, all right, take it into your own hands. I'm doing it on a beach we used to visit a lot as kids back in our hometown. I'm picking up the ring next week. Here comes my sister, 28 female. So far, because I always have to interrupt and give my own input, you know, because I think it's fun that way, okay? And I think it's sweet that you want to propose to him too, and I don't think he'll be upset or anything, but I also feel like for him, he really wants to do this for you, but you just want to marry him. I don't know. I don't think anybody's in the wrong necessarily here, but I could see him feeling like, oh, I wanted to propose to you. And then I can totally see your side being like, let's just get married. Like, I don't even care, which is great too. I don't even know. Okay, let's just read. Let's just read what the sister has to say. Because that's not even what this story is about. It's not about whether he's going to be upset or she's going to be whatever. It's about the sister, so I need to show up. She had multiple failed relationships and still lives with our parents. She saw me looking at a ring photo when she was visiting me this Christmas, so I told her I was planning to propose at the beach. She went silent for a minute and asked me if I was kidding her. Apparently, she caught her boyfriend of 2 years with someone else on that same beach and hates that place now. I wasn't aware of this. This breakup was in September, and back then she told me he was cheating and left her. She now wants me to cancel this whole thing and do it somewhere else. I admit, when her relationship ended, she took it pretty hardly. We all liked him, and my sister was convinced he was the one, so the breakup was really bad for her. So your sister is the main character in your story, according to her. Got it. Yes, it sucks what happened to her, but I don't know why that should affect my plans. Me and my boyfriend visit that place every time we're there, and it holds some importance to both of us. She's now calling me selfish and how I only want to hurt her by reminding her of that trauma. Okay. She then proceeds to talk about my boyfriend and how he can't propose and should be ashamed. Okay, so she's a mega bitch. Okay, so he, just taking care of his mother's medical bills and saying that he feels horrible about that and will save up enough to propose, but that makes him a terrible person and he should be ashamed. Got it, locked it in. I shut that down quickly and told her to drop that topic. The rest of the day, she was moody, and when she left, she was crying and called me heartless. She's now texting me and saying me getting engaged isn't important enough and I need to change the destination. No. No, I need advice on how to deal with her. Cut her out of your life. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just sit her down, you know, maybe give her a little bit of tea, a little cookie she can dip it in or whatever. And just say very calmly to her, bitch, this has nothing to do with you. Am I really in the wrong here? All I know is I'm not changing the location whether I'm wrong or not. I'm kind of guilty, but that's just because we've been close since we were kids and I don't really want to hurt her. Should I comfort her or something, or is she being unreasonable? Also, she lives with our parents and we're close too, so cutting her off isn't an option. Okay, I'm putting myself into your shoes, okay? I picture them as being like all white Nikes, really clean. I feel like you just have your shit together. And I think you should sit your sister down and maybe give her a little tea and just walk along. No, okay, so yeah, if this was my sister, whom I'm very close to, I have lots of sisters, but I'll say my oldest sister, and she was saying this, I would say, I appreciate what you're saying, but I associate this with a lot of really good memories and it kind of has nothing to do with you. So I think you're being a bit selfish here. Like you can experience what you experience, but I also have my own experiences and this doesn't involve you in any way, shape, or form and will not affect you or your life at all. So I think you just need to take a step back, okay? Look in the mirror, all right? Reflect a little bit and maybe come back down to earth with us. Okay? I just feel like she's being very selfish. Am I being dumb? Let me know in the comments. I can take some criticism. But let's read some other comments. Let's hopefully validate myself here. Honestly, what I'd do in your shoes depends on your sister and if this is standard behavior for her. If she is long in the habit of demanding you change things in your life that have zero impact on her because of her overly sensitive sensibilities, then I would tell her to get stuffed, that your happiness has nothing to do with hers and proceed with your plans. Negotiating with terrorists gets you nothing but increased demands. True. I like that. I'm going to use that. Writing that down. Just kidding. I was lying to you. I'm sorry for faking writing on my hand. First, it's you can't propose on the beach, then any beach, then a wedding isn't fair because she is single and it spirals. Nip it in the bud. See, I used to think it was nip it in the butt. And then Caleb corrected me and I was like, no way. And he was right, which is not uncommon. On the other hand, being cheated on is incredibly traumatic. If these demands are entirely out of character, and the first time she's ever done such a thing, I feel like it's not, then I would perhaps consider moving it. Rather than the beach itself, is there a spot or a bluff that overlooks it? Or somewhere else that's important to you as a couple you could use? And maybe a heart-to-heart is in order. One where you acknowledge her pain, but also stand firm on the fact that you are not being happy or getting engaged at her, that you love her and are very upset and disappointed that she's unsupportive and accusatory. That's kind of what I'm leaning more towards. Not moving. I wouldn't move the place because that is the place for you guys. You both associate it with such wonderful memories. I don't think you should move it. But I think the heart-to-heart is very well needed if it hasn't already happened. And she kind of needs a little bit of a reality check, but you also need to be sensitive to the fact that happened to her because that is traumatic. Absolutely, that's traumatic. But for her to ask that of you is just, it's worse. Not than the cheating, but like it's worse than you getting engaged at a place that you associate with positivity. You know what I mean? Like I would never ask that of my sister if I got, this asshole dude, cheated on me and then broke up with me at the beach or whatever happened exactly. I'd be like, it's a beach, it's a public area. I don't give a fuck. I don't know, that's how I feel anyway. She's always been good to me and my boyfriend. I think she sometimes acts entitled and gets mad easily, but it's just silly stuff and gets solved up in like a day or two, and it's never been something serious. See, go to Starbucks, then go to Target or whatever, or not Starbucks, but your local coffee shop or whatever, I really can't move the location. I think at this point, the best I can do is not talk about it to her. She isn't even gonna be present there, and I definitely won't be showing her any pics now that I know this, so I don't see why she can't pretend that this isn't happening. Yeah. Another comment says, yeah, it sucks for her. Good thing your engagement isn't about her. Yeah, that's just where I'm coming from. It's like, shut up. I don't know, shut up. I just can't stand people like this. They just have to make everything about them. You were absolutely the victim in a certain scenario, but you're not here. You're just making it about you for no reason. What's next? You can't get a dog because she once was bitten by one? Exactly. Like you've said in a comment that she's acted entitled in the past as well, this isn't your problem. She needs to deal with her feelings about this. As long as she's not causing problems like telling your boyfriend, you don't have to worry about this. Oh, I hope she doesn't do that. That would make her evil. That would make her the devil if she does that. Now I'm scared. I don't want to read anymore. Funny story, she actually did demand that when our parents were planning on adopting a dog. She did demand that when your parents were... So she's just a bitch. Okay. There's actually an edit, so let's read that. The edit is on, or there's 3 edits and they're all on the same day, so let's read those. As some have mentioned in the comments that this proposal might be emasculating to my boyfriend. Okay, I kind of like touched on that at first. I wouldn't say it's necessarily emasculating. Like sometimes can be, I guess, depending on the person. But I feel like he's just been planning it so hard that it might be like, oh, I wanted to do that. But whatever, I'll keep reading. I know him, and if it was actually something I'd be taking away from him, I'd obviously never do it. That's fair. And that's kind of where I'm like, everybody's so different, so I don't really know. We wanted to be engaged on our 5-year anniversary, and I think that's what he was guilty about, plus some stress about his mom's health. Thanks for the concern, but I know he'll love it. Okay. Amazing. We love that. Edit 2, thank you for the response, but I've seen some comments accusing my boyfriend and his parents of being immature and selfish. Wait, what? What is this left turn we just took? This is completely false. Be kind here, please. His parents are lovely people. Yes, they're financially struggling, and my boyfriend decided to help his parents. I'd have been mad if my boyfriend decided to spend his money on a ring instead of helping his mom. Yeah, like you're marrying a really nice person. That's great. About the insurance thing, I only know half of the story yet, and it's not because his parents are immature. I'll be talking to him about this later on, and he didn't spend all his savings. His actual savings are separate from the money he was saving for the ring. People just love to just get right into people's lives and dissect it. That's the internet for you, but I'm sorry you had to deal with that. Y'all, I'm proposing tomorrow. I did talk to his mom about it just to make sure I'm doing right by proposing, and she agrees. Wish me luck. And we have an update 8 days later, so let's read it. Thank you for your responses. Many people wanted an update, so here it is. After that incident, my sister called me 2 days later asking if I finally realized how insensitive I've been to her, and she wants me to apologize. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that you're a bitch. Yeah. Exactly. I told her, yes, she's my family and I love her, but she can't expect everyone to work according to her feelings. I didn't tell her if I was still going ahead with the plan because honestly, I was afraid she'd try to ruin it or something. I hung up and refused to answer when she called. I took the advice and refused to share any details with my parents and her. They called the same day asking me to care for her sister's feelings as well. Oh, brother, we got the enabling parents that baby their kid. Oh, brother, these people stink. I wasn't expecting much from my parents anyway. They just want us at peace and don't really care much. Now, on to the proposal. We are visiting a friend in our hometown who just had a baby and stayed there overnight. Went to the beach and, well, I proposed. It went exactly how I wanted it to be. Yay! We were walking and then got on one knee and started my speech about how I love him, etc., etc. I kid you not, I wasn't even 30 seconds in when he hugged me and got emotional. It was so beautiful, I couldn't stop smiling. He was so happy with the ring I selected. We said some sweet words, got all emotional. It was perfect. He also said how he loved that it happened at the beach. So yes, my sister can go screw herself. Exactly. We then went out to dinner and he couldn't stop smiling. That is so sweet. You know, I feel like it can be reversed with the right people, right relationship, all that stuff. I feel like a lot of people cringe at that, but I don't know, like you guys had a plan and it got sidetracked with a little thing that he had to pay for, or his mother needing surgery and like he needed to pay. And I just think that's wonderful. I think that's great. I think anybody that judges this specific scenario is just probably her sister. If you're hating on this, you're just like the sister, honestly. You're just hating love, and I don't like that. We then went out to dinner and he couldn't stop smiling. He even told the waitress, my girlfriend just proposed to me. I'm engaged. So yeah, whatever doubt I had about him not liking being proposed to vanished. We had a great night. Later, when we were about to sleep, I still did ask him if he was really okay with me proposing because of how upset he was about the ring. He told me he was upset because he felt like he was letting me down by not getting a ring and instead helping his mom. She's doing good, by the way. And he still says he wants a ring on my finger soon. We talked stuff out and we're good. I couldn't have asked for a better day. Okay. Now, the original plan was to go visit my parents after we're done visiting our friends, but I wasn't sure because of the whole thing with my sister. So I called my parents and told them I'm engaged. They did congratulate us, but were not happy because I haven't been answering their calls. I asked them if those calls were to make me change my mind about the proposal, and they said yes. Okay, proof her point. Okay. I told them it obviously wasn't happening and asked them if they'd still wanted me to visit them, and they said yes. My sister then called saying she can't believe how petty and immature I'm being and how I just had to go ahead and ruin her day. Okay, so let's not invite sister to the wedding. I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. I didn't even mention the engagement to her. My mom did. I told her the same thing again. Whatever happened to her wasn't my problem, and I won't be changing my plans because of her inability to deal with her emotions. She then said, congratulations on your engagement. Don't worry, it won't last. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I have a lot of things I want to say right now, but I'm just going to hold back. I'm just going to hold back a little bit. All right. So it's safe to say we won't be talking for the foreseeable future. We didn't visit our parents and spent the next day with our friends as well and then left. My parents don't blame me, but want me to fix this because you know how your sister is. Oh gosh. I'm done with her though. I was guilty only because I actually felt like I was hurting her, but she had no problem talking shit about my boyfriend and my engagement. But well, I have a fiance. Oh, there's another update? What do we even, I'm scared. Oh, it's later in the year. We're married. He got me a ring as well. It's fucking gorgeous. We got married at a beach. Was the sister there? Not the same one, lol. Okay, and it was beautiful. I'm so happy for you guys. I'm so happy for you guys. But that sucks that you're your sister, you know? That's just next level selfishness. Hopefully she comes around. Hopefully she was at the wedding. I hope it worked out, but I don't know. Blood or no blood doesn't really give you an excuse to be a, you know, it's just sad. I hope she is able to find happiness for you and for herself one day. That's all I can say. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but I feel like I'm being harsh because I have several sisters and I would just never treat them this way. And I know they would never treat me this way in the exact same circumstances. So it's hard for me to relate a little bit, not gonna lie, but let me know what you guys think. Let's read another one. This hair clip can't be innocent, can it? I have a feeling this hair clip was found in a space where it shouldn't be. So this started Friday morning and still haven't gotten a straight answer or even any real acknowledgement. I, 30 female, have been dating my boyfriend, let's call him Dave, 31 male, for 2 years. That morning, I found a hair clip on the clipped to his dresser. A hair clip clipped to his dresser. Hair clip clipped to his dresser. I got a hair clip clipped to his dresser. Clip, 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 clip. If you know, you know. Okay, RuPaul. They call me mother. Okay, sorry, I'll stop. Anyway, that morning I found a hair clip clipped to his dresser. Not mine. Definitely not mine. I had blonde, straight, wavy hair. This hair was dark and coarse. The clip had product on it. I don't wear that kind. I didn't bring it. Don't wear cream gel or product. I've never seen it before. I asked him, whose is this? His response, yours? I like how it has a question mark. Like he's just like, yours? He wouldn't just say, it's yours, you know? Sounds like he's lying. With an angry tone, I said, no. Then I guessed maybe it belonged to his friend's girlfriend who had been over a long time ago. We'll call her Emily. I even offered to text and ask her. He went silent. Oh no, Dave is having spicy sessions with Emily, I think. Then I followed up again and told him it wasn't hers. Oh, okay. He is not having relations with Emily. Still got no real response. Just, I don't know, Alexis. And that was it. Okay, I guess your name is Alexis. Oh, I knew an Alexis in middle school. She was mean. She was mean. I asked for space because I was confused and felt like this was really shady. Since then, not a single word. Total radio silence. He didn't try to check in, didn't offer any theories, didn't defend himself, didn't say he'd look into it. Nothing. I even called him. I was stranded and needed a ride, and he refused to pick me up. Okay, well, what are we doing with him? Sweetie, Alexis, what are we doing with him? The cheating. Like, who cares about that? He's not picking you up when you need a ride. And he's like, he's stonewalling you. Just leave this person. This guy sucks. He acted pissed off like I was punishing him. He eventually told me I'd regret this and to get the F out and shut the F up. Okay. Where does he live? Where does he live? His one defense via text after I left and said I'm not letting this go was that it's not in his character to do this. He doesn't have the time or energy. Okay, so, for the love of God, to anyone out there that is trying to defend themselves when they're accused of doing this, don't say you don't have time or energy, okay? That just means you're too lazy to do it, but you would if you could. Oh, and this is the second time this exact thing has happened. In October, I found a random pair of panties. Okay. So Alexis, is that your name? Can I call you that? All right. We need to leave him. Same deal. Silence, denial, no explanation. I chose to believe him then after we did a session with my therapist. Now this just feels like deja vu with even less effort on his part to clear things up. It's been 72 hours. If he were innocent, wouldn't he want to clear it up? Wouldn't he say something? Right now, it just feels like he's avoiding it until I either drop it or break up with him. And honestly, I'm not sure which one he wants more. It's what you want, sweetie. Just break up with him. You deserve somebody you're not questioning constantly and not getting talked at by. He's swearing at you for what? For him up? This is clear projection. He absolutely has been with somebody else and he hates getting caught and now he's punishing you for it. You need to leave. You need to. And then you go to the club. Oh my god, this is so much fun. I'm going on tour next month. If you want to come. So Reddit, is this hair claw innocent or for being upset that he hasn't addressed this at all? Or is it fair to give someone a few days of silence when they're processing? He's definitely cheating on you and he's a asshole. He's a ripe asshole. I don't even know what that means, but he is that, you know? He's a prolapsed asshole. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Glad we had this talk. Unfortunately, there's an update that we have to read. I hope it's just her saying they broke up. You guys read it. I'm scared. Just kidding. I will. This was his exact text. Okay, we get to hear his words. I gotta give him a voice. Saying this as clearly as I can, I didn't cheat. Not now, not ever. On everything I love, including you, I swear that no one else has been here in my bed or in this house with me like that. Like that? Okay. I don't have the energy for it. And more importantly, I wouldn't do that to you. I spent all my free time gaming, and the only reasonable time that could have happened is yesterday when we gone all day, and you saw the state of me when you got here. Disheveled, sweaty, smelling suspicious maybe, greasy, unshowered, and not exactly in the state where I'd hang out with someone. This is the worst defense I've ever heard. Judge, put him in jail for life. What the fuck? I don't know how I can prove this to you, but I will. You've got nothing to worry about. Promise that on God. And you're the last person I'd try to sneak having someone hereby. Because you're too smart. Oh my god, he actually says that. You're too intelligent and hyper-vigilant. You're just saying you would if you could, but you're too lazy and she's too smart to get you. Dude sucks. Dude sucks, dude. Suck. This guy. I can't believe humans like this exist. And in touch with your intuition and observant and all other things, you'd feel it. And I know even if there was no evidence, and I have an unbearably overwhelming guilty conscience, so I couldn't lie to you, just not me. Plus you're like a witch. You know for sure. Wow, we have a reply, so let's read that. I really just need some space and time to think. I can't think of anyone who is in our circle and has that texture and curl of hair. That clip wasn't there when I tried turning your light on just the other day. I also looked for your baseball caps in your dresser the day I wore the bucket hat. It wasn't there either. So I am having a hard time wrapping my head around what's happened here. This guy... He's such, I was gonna say Chad, but he's such a Dave, dude. Screw Dave. By that message, projectile vomit. He's projectile vomiting on you, I feel like. In my opinion, you know, do I know for sure? No. Am I making it my business? Yes. Am I sharing it with hundreds of thousands of you? Also, yes. Do I want to hear your guys' opinions? Absolutely. So let's judge him down below. If you use a laundromat, the panties could have been left in a washer he used and got into his dryer load, but the hair clip on the dresser isn't an accident. My guess is someone left it there for you to find, and he's trying to act oblivious about its existence. But if he's been in an unstable relationship prior to this, where he was constantly accused of cheating without proof, then I can see why he'd be resistant about wanting to address it at all. But his radio silence is a big red flag, whether he's guilty or avoiding the subject. Just the way he's treating you in general. let's just put all that even aside. You have every right to be acting the way you do based off of his initial reaction. The way he's talking to you is horrible, you know? If he's not even willing to talk to you about it, that would be a deal breaker for me. He's either carrying resentment for a prior relationship into yours, or he's guilty as fuck. Exactly. OP said, it was my own washer and dryer. Every relationship and his family dynamic have been beyond unstable. Him not cheating doesn't make sense because I've only had people over 2 times in 8 weeks. I work a lot, and they do not have that course of hair, and their hair wouldn't fit in the clip. Girls know, we know, okay? Too long or too short, so like it came from somewhere, and him trying to blame me. This morning he literally tried making me believe it's mine, and I just forgot about it. It's gaslighting 101. It's crazy. Another one says, ma'am, if you don't have a ring cam, then I hope you have a neighbor that does. Or is nosy or observant. Oh my God, yes. This is real shady, and one move would be to ask to check his phone, but if he's slick, it could be clean. We know it is by now. It does sound like that man doesn't care because you sound like you are going through it, mind racing, trying to find alternative explanations, and he's just being dismissive. I hope you find answers in peace. Hope he said he freaking unplugged the kitty cam and the outside cam. Okay. Why are we with him? Let's use our deduction skills. He's never offered it and never asked. But if it was me, I would have thrown my phone at him. Like, check it, I'm innocent. Oh, we have an update though. We have an update. Everybody shut up and sit down. Okay, grab a blankie and some snacks. Let's read. So here's the update. I've barely slept since the most recent incident. This morning at 7:30 a.m., he came into my room and apologized tearfully. Oh, brother. He said he was sorry for being so angry and explained that his explosive reactions come from deeper trauma. He was bullied in the 7th. This kid made fun of my braces when I was 12. He was bullied in 7th grade for something he didn't do. Again, in 9th grade by the entire school, and later by nurses at his job when someone lied about one of his patients, and he ended up being bullied in that environment too. I feel like he did do the things. No, I don't know what they're talking about, but you know. That sucks. I don't know how that has to do with anything, but okay. He said his anger is rooted in that same feeling, being punished for something he didn't do. Guy's just asking ChatGPT, putting in prompts like, how do I come up with a traumatic incident that makes up for me reacting the way I did to my girlfriend when I absolutely cheated on her? He admitted he can't prove he didn't cheat, but said if I checked his gaming activity from that day, it would show he was online for nearly 16 hours. Okay. Hi. Gamer girl here. You can just leave a game open and it'll say that. So yeah, you don't have to be playing the game. He even told me to talk to his friends who could vouch for that, who he's talked to be like, dude, you need to tell my girlfriend that I didn't cheat on her because I got made fun of in the 7th grade, and the girl that I slept with lets her clip there. I just need you to do this for me, dude. Okay, I'll have your back in the next round. He said I'd know if something happened, that I'd smell the sheets, and that's why I did it on the couch. I reminded him that the last time this happened, right before my grandma's funeral, he hadn't changed his sheets then either. His response, we weren't dating. I replied, my point is you're capable. And he said, it's different now. Wait. What? The last time this happened? Oh, are you talking about when you found the underwear? Or are you talking about he actually cheated? Interesting. Okay, I'm assuming that's just about the underwear, but okay. As for the cameras being down, conveniently during the time I was gone and both items appeared, he said the Wi-Fi modem was changed because he was setting up the soundbar and didn't realize it disconnected the security system. I pushed back. He's incredibly smart and strategic. He could have easily set it up ahead of time. He insisted it was just poor timing and reminded me that he told me to check the cameras himself. I told him again, he's asking me to let go of all logic and just believe him, despite past situationships, behavior, conflicting stories, and too many coincidences. I said, you're asking me to close my eyes and pretend I didn't find what I found. Exactly. He said he's reached out to a counselor he used to see, which I had asked him to do earlier in the conversation because his anger response is not normal. I told him I still need more time to think. I can't let the clip and panties go. I literally watch crime shows for fun. I hope she watches my channel. I need evidence to believe someone's innocence when logic and context suggest otherwise. Yes, we love a logical queen. I'm not trying to punish him by still having him move out, but I can't just silence my instincts either. He's the one that said you were so instinctual and so intelligent. Let's just live up to his expectations and be smart. And what you are doing is really smart, in my opinion. So yeah, That's where I'm at. Still being gaslit. Lol. I was really starting to question myself because he ignored me for so long and didn't address any direct questions, etc. Then my second thought is the way he reacted should be a deal breaker in and of itself, irregardless of his trauma. That is exactly right. You deduced and you came to a beautiful conclusion. I'm so proud of you. I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. It's so many different things. It's not just the potential cheating. It's the way he reacted. It's the way he's treating you now. And it's not going to change, at least anytime soon. He is a rat caught in a corner and he's trying to save himself in any way he can. And you just need to, but not literally. I just mean like break up the relationship, That's what I'm saying. One of the comments says, online gaming with no Wi-Fi? Is that possible? Yeah, if he's playing with his friends. Be for real right now. What the? OP said he changed the modem like 48 hours before the clip was found. Okay. Yeah, all right. Oh God, there's another update. I see the little title thing. I'm scared. I'm wrong. Mostly. Let's read it. For the last 22 days, he's been perfectly pleasant, love bombing me. Classic. Giving me extra attention, spicy time, cuddles, going out of his way for me. Why are we engaging with this human being? Why are we engaging with this human? And honestly, it almost worked. How old are you again? We all need to learn a lesson at some point. I need a refresh. You're 30 years old. Okay. You need better friends. I feel like you need a friend that would just be like, shake your shoulders and be like, you deserve better. It's so clear, but it's not always. I don't want to be too hard on this OP because it's when you're in it, especially for the first time, you can't see it as well. And clearly you're very smart, but you're willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I just feel bad. Anyway, we were fine. Keeping the peace. Had all the cameras plugged back in and working again. Sure, he was still gaming basically 24/7, but whatever. He's 31, by the way. Fast forward to me leaving for this trip. 4 hours later. Boom. The front door camera's unplugged. I only noticed because I was drunk, missing my dog. He's babysitting him and went to check in. I called and told him to plug it back in instead of just doing it. He argued that he doesn't want to be spied on. And then threw out, I'll just move out now if you can't trust me. I think that's a great idea, Steve or Dave or whoever. I'm getting everybody's names mixed up now. Was that from the last story or the story? I can't remember. Like, sir, why would I trust you when this is your move the second I leave town after weeks of the cameras being just fine? You unplug one almost immediately. Anyway, I'm honestly blown away, but I guess the upside is he'll be gone a few weeks earlier than I planned when I get back. Yeah, I mean, it's just like classic trademarked person cheating and trying to make up for it and projecting and then love bombing and then gaslighting again and then doing the same thing over again because you believed him, and then gaslighting you some more and then throwing some flames onto it and blah 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 blah. This is just, I'm tired. I'm so glad you guys are done. I think you're done. Is there any more updates? Dear God. No, there's no more updates. Okay, thank God. But yeah, no, I'm happy you figured it out, and I don't blame you for staying and trying to make it work. And, we're not there, so we don't know, but like we do. We do, But she figured it out. She's not with this asshole anymore, and I hope that he has, fun playing video games with his buddies 24/7 at the age of 31, and I'm for it. I love video games, but maybe not 24/7 at the age of 31 if it's not your job, and using 7th grade bullying as a defense mechanism for obviously cheating on your girlfriend and stuff. This guy's just kind of a piece of shit. I'm being a hater right now, but I think I can. It's my channel. I can do what I want. What do you guys think though? What do you guys think? Let me know. All right, one more, last but not least, okay? We got another sister one. My sister was threatening to tell my family and boyfriend that I slept with her fiance. So you're the bad guy. Wait, did you sleep with him like before they were fiance and before you had a boyfriend? I'm going to try not to interrupt myself 85,000 times during this, okay? I'm going to try my best, okay? So I, 24 female, have a sister, 29 female, who has been in a relationship for 3 years. She got engaged in February 2025. They rented a small flat in our city. However, she has been staying at our parents' recently due to the fight that started this. I am still a student who's living at home while finishing my master's degree. I have a boyfriend of 2 years and we are currently long distance as he is studying abroad. Little bit of backstory. Me and my sister don't get along. I have ADHD, autism and ADHD, I believe that is. My sister has ADHD, hyperactive type. She has always been the comedian of the family, but often her jokes come at the expense of others and involves winding people up or acting as a wooden spoon to stir any pot of drama she can find. I tend to not initiate contact with her to avoid any potential issues since, while she is family, I feel more stressed after spending time with her. Me and my sister's fiance get along pretty well. However, we have shared interests in motorsports and we usually talk about it at family get-togethers. We don't talk outside of family gatherings much, just the occasional text when F1 or MotoGP is running, or little life updates if we haven't seen each other in a while. My parents have said previously that they find it odd how I am fine with talking to her fiance, but have a weird aversion to talking to her directly, but this has never been a point of tension. I'm trying really hard, guys. I'm trying really hard not to say anything, but back to recent times. A little over a month ago, my sister found bank statements in their flat for cards she didn't know existed. Most of the transactions had been to hotels or restaurants abroad. She checked the dates of the restaurants and they line up with the times and countries he had been away for work trips, but the exact restaurant and hotel locations do not add up. Example, him going away for a conference, but the hotel and restaurant he booked were at least an hour away from the city. She immediately thought he was cheating and searched his phone, but found nothing. He caught her snooping and they fought about it, which ended up with him admitting he had cheated while abroad. Oh no. The wedding is off and she has moved back into our parents' place while they figure out their lease. Okay. I'm scared. The weekend after she came back to our parents, we went out for dinner as they thought she could use a pick-me-up evening with the whole family. Over dinner, we talked a lot about recent life events other than my sister's fight, and travel got brought up. I had traveled to Singapore in September of 2025 to visit friends and relive our undergraduate clubbing days. My parents wanted to plan a trip to Singapore, and I recommended the hotel I stayed in, plus a few nice food spots around that area. In hindsight, my sister was uncharacteristically silent after this, but the rest of dinner went pretty normal. Okay. 2 days ago, my sister invited me to go to dinner that evening, saying she had something serious she wanted to talk about without worrying our parents. This was very out of the ordinary for her. We haven't gone out to dinner with just the two of us since I was probably 15, but this whole situation was hardly ordinary either, so I didn't question it. The dinner hardly had any talking. Right after we ordered our drinks, she accused me of sleeping with her fiance and being one of the women he was cheating on her with. Oh, she pulled up to the bank statements for me to check, and sure enough, there are transactions for the same hotel in the same week I was in Singapore. What? The one I mentioned to our parents. She accused me of being jealous of her relationship, saying that I was bitter that she was proposed to within 2 years of them starting dating, and that I clearly thought I was better match for her fiance since we had more hobbies and interests in common. We literally have one, right? The F1 and stuff. There was a lot of back and forth of me trying to reason with her and get any sort of exact detail or legitimate proof that could have caused her to think this, but by this point she was livid. The whole thing escalated from 0 to 100 within like 15 minutes. I'm definitely missing a few details of her accusations. There were a lot of them, but the main threat she had was to tell my parents and my boyfriend I was a bitter lying homewrecker, her exact words, if I didn't come clean. Okay, we're under the assumption that she didn't actually do this. That is a crazy coincidence. That is a crazy coincidence to be in Singapore the same week. That's like, I don't know. I feel like this could be a conversation, but based off of how you reacted, I feel like she should have been, a little bit more chill. But also, I kind of understand her being like, did you? And he also admitted that this is a weird situation. I'm just gonna keep reading. How on earth is someone meant to navigate this situation? I don't know. I think it goes without saying that I never cheated. Okay, perfect. We love that. Just making sure. And definitely not with her fiance. I mean, your friends were with you, so there could be that. But how does someone begin to plead their innocence in a situation like this? I have no witnesses for me. When I was in Singapore, I was visiting friends, yes, but I stayed in my hotel every night since they all live in different areas, and the hotel was pretty central. Oh my God. No way. Both sides of this case have basically no firm evidence other than a few bills. On top of this, how would I even begin to manage the fallout if she were to tell people this? Long distance is hard enough as is. I cannot imagine how shattered my boyfriend would be if he was told I cheated with this man he considered a friend. Any advice would be massively appreciated. I will update this post once I have more information or to answer any common questions. Oh my God. Oh, extra info. There was a 3-day overlap in dates. I arrived Tuesday, left Sunday. The statements show charges from Friday until sometime the week after. Don't remember exactly what day. I just know it was after I left. I'm not gonna lie. This looks pretty bad. I feel like you need to talk to the fiance. I feel like you need to, I mean, he already admitted that, but I feel like you need to sit both of them down and tell her, like, I feel like the reaction will be so clear that he'll be like, no, it was with this person, you know? And it's just got to be based off of that. But this is a terrible situation. This is a terrible situation. I don't think it can get much worse than this for an innocent party. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I would let your boyfriend know immediately before she could say anything. Be like, this is insane, and just be honest. And you just need to be honest. You just need to be honest. You need to tell your boyfriend first about this whole situation, and then you need to sit them down and talk to them, I feel like. But let's read the comments. Maybe I'm stupid. It's a massive coincidence that you would stay at the exact hotel her boyfriend stayed at on the same dates that he was there. This is a hard one to disprove if you weren't doing things with your friends in the evenings. OP, read the coincidence. Agreed. I was really shocked when she showed me the bank statement. The dates had a 3-day overlap where we were both in the same hotel, though I never saw him or knew he was there. I was talking about how I planned this trip for at least a month beforehand though, so I'm hoping my parents aren't too old that they remember me asking about flights and travel restrictions. I don't go abroad often, but my mom has traveled a lot for work, so she's my go-to for travel advice. Yeah, also, like, why would you admit to being there at the exact same time? That just wouldn't really make sense. Proof from evenings. I do have photos from nights out with my friends that prove I was with them basically every evening, but those photos dwindle in numbers the later each night got. I will have to ask my friends if any of them can vouch that they dropped me off at my hotel, as that would disprove any restaurant charges. However, the issue of being in the same hotel rears its head again here, since she could always argue I went back to his room instead of mine. Jeez Louise. Another comment said, when you went in your hotel room, did you open the door at any point? If not, you may get the hotel to provide key card usage for those 3 days, easier than surveillance footage. Of course, if you left the room to get ice or some other innocuous reason, that won't help. Oh my God. OP said, I'm literally drafting up an email to the hotel as I type this. I was about to ask about surveillance footage, but this is crazy. You're having to ask for surveillance footage because your sister doesn't believe you. But I mean, it is a crazy situation. But like that, I feel like that proves it in and of itself that you're emailing to get surveillance footage to prove that you're innocent, you know? You wouldn't be doing all of that if you weren't. I don't know. My gosh. Another comment says, this is not at all on you to prove from thin air. She made the accusations, so she needs actual proof. That's how the law works. Lol. I mean, she doesn't have proof, but she kind of has proof. You know what I mean? OP says, ironically, she is a lawyer. Oh no. But I doubt she's gonna really care about typical legal proceedings right now, even if I swore myself in. Jeez Louise. Is there an update? Oh my God, there is. Everybody shut up, sit down, grab a blanket and some snacks. Let's read the update. In order to keep this update linear, let's start with the last night, approximately 5 hours after the original post. I video called my boyfriend. Okay, good. This is what I wanted you to do. Going to call him Ken in this post. Last night, after reading through you guys' comments and advice, many of you suggested I get in front of this as to not let her get direct narrative. So that's what I tried to do. Tried is the key word here. Oh no. Oh, Ken's spiraling and I don't blame him. Oh no. We chatted for a bit about normal stuff before I said we should talk about my sister's situation. Ken's facial expression visibly changed when I mentioned this. I asked what was up, and he said she had messaged him some pretty weird stuff earlier that day. She got ahead of it right away. You should have said immediately about her ex and me. For context, Ken knows that me and my sister have a pretty complex relationship. He also knows that me and the ex talked occasionally. He encouraged all 4 of us to hang sometimes, but this only happened a few times and stopped once he left for his year abroad. I asked Ken when he had been told, and he said this, paraphrased from memory, as I do not know how to use a stenotype. Okay. Quote, I got a text from her while I was out saying that she needed to talk to me about our relationship. She said our relationship was doomed because she caught you cheating with her fiance and that you didn't even try to defend yourself. You kept focusing on irrelevant details when it was clear you two were in a hotel together in Singapore. I know you and your sister don't get along, but I never got the impression you two hated each other enough for her to lie about cheating, so I don't know where to go from here. I was floored. As I mentioned in a comment on a previous post, Ken is similar to me in that he puts logical reasoning before extremes. He asked if I had anything to say about it. I gave him the rundown from my POV in chronological order, starting from when I was booking the holiday back in August of 2025. I backed all of this up with receipts, screen shares, and bank statements from any relevant times, and photos with timestamps from nights out with friends. Somebody suggested in the last post that I have as many receipts as possible since it helps build a routine and pictures of your day for people, since almost everything costs money these days, so you can track your movement. I did this before I called and made sure I had everything I might need on hand. I also got a few of my friends on text saying they know I was waking up in my own hotel room since they had called through the hotel reception to wake me up a few times. The whole thing took 45 minutes, of which he stayed relatively silent aside from an occasional question to make sure he was understanding all links I was drawing up. By the end of it, I was on the brink of tears, mostly because it took saying it all out loud to realize how fucked up the whole guilty until proven innocent thing is. Ken bluntly asked if I had cheated, to which I said no, never. He took a minute, then said he trusted me, which was huge weight off my shoulders. God bless Ken. He asked what could have made my sister think I cheated, and I said I didn't know, but thought she was just hurt and looking for someone to pin the blame on so she could vent her anger somewhere. He said that made sense, but he didn't understand how she drew these conclusions or how she pieced this together from a single hotel name drop. Yeah, that's, I mean, she probably went like full FBI mode once he told her that he actually did, because remember, her fiance actually did cheat on her, right? So I asked what he meant, and he said there's at least 3 Shangri-La hotels or apartment blocks in Singapore, and he didn't understand how she knew I stayed in this exact same hotel. I didn't really have an answer to that. I didn't have a copy of the bank statements and didn't note down to the exact recipient from the statement she waved in my face. I also said she could still argue I visited his room or visited mine, which ended that speculation. I offered to ask to see the bank statement again, but he shut me down and said he would ask since she doesn't know we've spoken yet. Oh, okay, good. We'll see. Double agent. We like this. Okay. He messaged her last night and she apparently responded by saying she would send them to him in the morning, which should have been before this update was written, but I haven't heard anything from him, so I suspect that hasn't happened. The rest of the call was a lot of questions and not a lot of definitive answers. He appreciates that I spoke to him about it and stayed calm instead of spiraling, as it helped him stay calm about it too. I sent him the post I made to ask if he was okay with me updating with our conversation, which he said was fine, and he would like to see what people have to say. I slept pretty well after that. Good, level-headed conversation with logical people. Okay, logic. On to this morning, right before I started typing this post. Both of my parents were home today, so I offered to cook breakfast as to hope we could all sit down and open up a chance for me to address my sister's case. I suspected that, since she told Ken, she almost certainly told our parents too. However, when I tried to start explaining myself, I got cut off almost as soon as I mentioned the Singapore trip. My parents told me they had already heard my sister's half of the story the day before. No surprise there. My mom, who for context has a higher IQ than my dad and so generally takes charge with these sorts of conversations, said that while they believed they'd raised me better than to do something like this, she was not going to let me plead my case to them, as I was clearly in a better state of mind about it, whereas my sister was torn apart. She said my sister was sensitive and she would think that her own parents didn't believe her or care about her hurting. My dad chimed in, saying that she already has a slight resentment towards them and me because I was praised more when we were young, context marked with a number below, too much for brackets and not everyone will care, and that he wouldn't get involved but also refused to openly support me in a time where she needed to see she was supported and loved. Okay, so they're just basically sitting on that fence. To say I was blindsided was an understatement. The entire time they were talking on and on about how they didn't want to take sides, they were openly allying with her notion that I cheated with her fiance. Who are these people? The hypocrisy was brutal. I said all of this directly to them, calling out the contradiction and saying that if they didn't take my side but openly confronted my sister, everybody we know would draw up the same conclusion that I cheated and that my parents were being charitable by not reprimanding me further. Therapy is a beautiful thing. My mom said that if I was able to prepare all this evidence and create a defense, this was proof that my mental clarity was leagues above my sister's and that she needed them more. I left after that, went for a ride on my motorbike, stayed out of the house for a couple hours, and took a breather. Wow. This is wild. I feel like the only thing you haven't done is a thing I said you should do. And that's like sitting down with her, your sister, and the fiance, albeit they probably don't want to be in the same room. But I feel like you need to clear this up. I feel like this is really important. At least get on like a 3-way call or something, you know? Set up a Zoom meeting. I don't know. I don't know, but she probably won't believe anything he says either. I don't know. Let's read the comments. Where is your sister's fiance / ex-fiance in all of this? I want to know what he has to say. Exactly, yeah. OP says, from my perspective, he's MIA. I unadded him on social media after the relationship status changed, as I felt it was inappropriate to continue to follow my sister's ex. That's very mature of you. I haven't heard much of him after that, other than from my sister herself saying she got him to pay the remainder of the rent until the end of their flat's lease. Another comment said, something doesn't add up. I mean, how on earth did she randomly choose the same week to go on a trip to the same country with her sister's fiance in the same hotel? Coincidence? Like I said, something feels off given the context. Funny they were staying in the same hotel and never bumped into each other during breakfast or dinner. OP said, I think I've defended myself enough across the past 2 posts and their respective comment sections, but the breakfast or dinner comment is new. I don't know how often you travel or stay in hotels, but I don't think I've ever been to a hotel dinner. Yeah, that's weird. I eat out when abroad because a hotel restaurant will never give everything right. Yeah, I mean, that's stupid. I don't agree with that. Oh, okay, another comment said, I have so many questions that need answers. Why would you have to get HR involved? Oh, interesting. Do you work together? If you were there with your friends, why haven't your friends also jumped into this? I mean, she said they did. She said they had texts. When you say you hang with your ex, is her fiance your ex? Am I missing something or getting something? I think you're just not. You didn't read anything. But OP clarified. Someone said I should pressure the ex-fiance into saying who he was actually cheating with. I said this was a good idea by getting my boyfriend to message him instead, but also mentioned that the ex-fiance might be hesitant to admit who it was if he was cheating with one of his coworkers. HR gets messy. I see. No, I'm a student. The entire point of trying to get ahead of this was to avoid having everyone and their mothers involved in conspiracy theories, especially not people who live a 13+ hour flight and 7 hours ahead due to time zones. For her fiance is now her ex. 5, definitely I suggest you read the previous, but yeah, this person just didn't read the post. Okay. Oh man, we don't have any more updates. Oh. You know, it'll be what it'll be. Thought that us. You know, that's basically, it is what it is in Icelandic. Little fact. That's the only words I picked up from Iceland. I'm probably saying that wrong too. Any people from Iceland in the comments? Tatras? Am I saying that wrong? Probably. All you can do is say your piece. I think you have a very emotionally mature boyfriend, and I'm happy for you for that. I think you're going out of your way to grab all the evidence and even footage from the hotel and all that. And I just think she's clearly in a very emotional state and not in the right frame of mind. You guys don't have a good relationship. I think this is just a recipe for disaster. Hopefully she can get past it and realize that you're not lying to her. It is a crazy situation, though. I'll give the sister that one thing. And your parents suck. That really sucks, even though they basically believe you, but they're like, your sister's sad, so we're just gonna side with her. Actually, it's like, oh, way to raise a little baby who's always a victim. Like, that's not, she is a victim in this case because she got cheated on and her whole future wedding got ruined and all that stuff. But in terms of them picking her side over yours, I just don't think that's fair. It is a crazy situation, though. I would not wish this situation upon anyone I know. That's terrible. Hopefully she comes around. But yeah, this is crazy. What would you guys do? What would you guys do in this situation? I have no idea. This one perplexed me. But that's it for today. I will see you in the next one. All right. Love you. Appreciate you. See ya.